Okay, hi everyone. I believe we started a really great discussion this morning. So we started to talk about hardware, how many hardware SKUs for one company you can have as SONiC. Then we've seen how my PC is booting, so I need to somehow fill the gap. So I will talk without slides for now. Excuse me?
It's not showing.
Yeah, it's booting. I need to fill up the gap. So and you are breaking everything, you know. So maybe I will shut down for now. I don't want to show you the whole my screen. Sorry for that. Give me a second. Yeah, I will try to squeeze my talk, and I will give more time for the questions. Yeah. So that's why, maybe I see that there is much more interesting open discussions rather than me talking about some maybe boring or interesting slide. Depends on who's watching on them. So one slide is loading. I will start maybe some intro talks about this. So we've started a really great journey today. So we've talked about the hardware SKUs from specific company, and we see there are lots of them, different port speeds, different port density, different ASICs from same vendor, but different SKUs from the ASIC vendor. Then we heard a story from the end user, the actual end user, that wanted to change to open source and tend to use the version of SONiC, which, let's be realistic, this is one of the production-ready version of SONiC available now. SONiC community-wise is good enough. It's evolving in the speed, which is faster than we can imagine last year, and will be faster even next year. I see this trend happening, but to be realistic, currently there are only few enterprise distribution of SONiC available that you as the end customer can choose and use. Why you need it? Because you need to work. It must work, yes, eventually. You cannot get the experiments to your live network. You can get the experiments to your test network, to your lab network, but not to your live network. This was basically, I believe that, but as I said, finally I have the slides ready. And I'm really sorry for that. So, yes. So today I will talk about how to utilize OpenLAN, which is another project. I will talk about it a bit later, and open source SONiC, and why to do it, and what is the main reason behind, and how this use case help other type of end customers. And I would start with really simple, oversimplified description. We've heard it from previous speaker, but SONiC was designed for data center, works great in data center. Vendor agnostic, multi-ASIC, multi-vendor, hundreds of SKUs, hundreds of clients, proven to be work, everyone is super happy. It's now moving in really fast steps, and a lot of them were taken to get the DC. But there is major difference between the data center in DC. The main one, it's not about the performance, it's not about resources, it's not about price. The main difference is the mindset. When you go to DC, 90% of DC, these are the green field, super controlled environment. You have the highly skilled engineers, which are really well paid. You have a time period to design and architect everything you wanna at your network in a way that would be most efficient to get them as much potential and as much revenue from your data center as you can. In the campus environments, it's the opposite. 90% of deployments are brownfield. Most of the technicians don't have the CCNA for SONiC and will never have it. It's different. The set of devices and vendors and technologies used that was growing step by step through years of developing this specific network is, I would say, IT administrator worst nightmare. But this network must work. They are now being changed and evolved. They are now being replaced. But in majority, at least in our view, it's still there. And then it comes also with another set of challenges. The enterprise and campus networks, the number of switches is order of magnitudes higher than DC. So you can have, at some point, I believe it was Ram from Broadcom saying that every year there is 4 Ethernet ports deployed per each person in the world. So, and most of them are not in the data center, just for us to understand the magnitude here. So that's why those switches must be more efficient, less powerful, and mostly cheaper. as for the economics to work. So because, as I was saying previously, there is no army of the well-trained, highly skilled engineers that run your data center network in the campus environment, some organizations do have their nice and, let's say, skillful IT management. Some of them really don't know and honestly don't care. They want their network to work. They want their network to provide the value that they need to run their main business. Networking is not their business. So, and for these kind of companies, there was a new project started. It was the derivative from the Open Wi-Fi project. Was the main idea to define an open source protocol and open source piping from the cloud management SDK up to the devices. So it started from Wi-Fi, proven to be working, deployed in thousands locations with hundreds of thousands of devices all over the world. And now there was the realization, okay, each Wi-Fi access point is connected to switch. So we do control access points, let's control the switch. And for the Wi-Fi, we can OpenWRT, what we can use for SONiC. Arpit was saying there are two OSs left in the open domain, so there is a SONiC and DENT. Which OS is much more mature? We all know it's SONiC, so there was obvious choice, let's integrate this all with SONiC. And the goals of that is, in order to serve the most of the industry, we need a variety of switch platforms from 8 to 48. We need a different set of the PoE capabilities from 15 watt up to the 90 from Wi-Fi 7, and we need advanced layer 2 functionality, which was not the baseline scenario for the SONiC, but it's happening now. And the most important part of this, it's the over the public internet ZTP process. What does it mean? You are taking the device, you're connecting it, and it just works. So how the stack works here, so on the bottom side of stack, we have the PoE vendors, we have the chip vendors. Everything of that is being controlled as the SONiC, as the NOS. The northbound interface of SONiC is either GNMI, GNOI, or REST interface. Usually it's the combination. Unfortunately, this is the reality currently with the SONiC management interfaces, that it's not full at some point, but I see it's happening and it's extending the capabilities. I believe maybe next year or in 2 years we would have the full support for either OpenConfig or REST. Will depend who will win, or maybe we'll have both as always, you know. And then there is a container which translates it to that open source protocol that is used in the Open Wi-Fi called uCentral. And it's the same protocol as for the Wi-Fi access points. It utilizes the secure over the public internet zero-time provisioning. And then there is a cloud SDK open source. So you can either deploy it and define your own controller, it's all available there, or you can go to the specified companies that provide this controller for you. There are a number of them. What's important here is how this secure over the public internet zero-touch provisioning works. The technology behind is simple. Each device that being manufactured by the vendor has the pre-installed certificate. This is the identity used by this device to verify, I'm the device, tell me what to do next. So once the devices are manufactured, they are shipped to the distribution centers. When the client orders that device, client can specify, okay, I want this device to work with my cloud, or to work with cloud company A, cloud company B, cloud company C. Under the OpenLAN project, there are a set of certified clouds you can select. All ODM does, it says through the tip CA that these MAC addresses that are corresponding to this device should go to that cloud. Once the devices are on the location, you are connecting to the internet, they are reaching out to the global redirector asking, this is me, this is my certificate, to which cloud should I connect? And the CA says, you should go to that cloud. And since that cloud takes control over the device, you can remotely update them, manage, connect, monitor. The piping is happening already there, and the functionality is increasing day by day. So where is the SONiC? We are talking about SONiC, and I was talking about some OpenLAN, some Wi-Fi, some certificates. So did they switch or forget which conference I am? No, I'm not. I'm still here. So how we did integrate it? And it was, honestly, it was one of the easiest management system integration we ever did. So as the part of our main business in the company, PLVision, we do a lot of networking development and integrations. And to integrate the uCentral to the SONiC, we just use what's available called app extension. There is a great technology in SONiC where you can develop your own protocol, feature, management, or monitoring capabilities, I don't know, even game that you run in console, put it in the container and install it to the image. Super easy, super efficient, and super flexible. And because it's isolated, so there is no interference from other SONiC, it utilizes the SONiC NOS-bound interface as any other management system does. The only thing that it does that changes the SONiC behavior is that it takes over the SONiC ZTP process. As we were saying, Marcos was saying that they use the ZTP from SONiC, local one. This is being disabled, and over the public internet DTP process has been enabled to get this call to cloud, get to where it should connect. And this is all being open sourced under the TIP repos. We are putting them back to the SONiC, and I will talk about that a bit later. But what also was the issue, which I was saying, and I believe the guys from large networks were saying, this is the resources. And we are lazy. I mean, as all engineers, we are really lazy. We took the first simple step, what we can do. We took what's available in SONiC, DC flavor. There is dual TOR support. There is gearbox support, S-Flow, road advertisement. You don't use it in the OpenLAN. You don't need it. So we just disable those. And only by doing that and doing some minor tweaks with some leftover files that been left through the build and image generation process, we were able to save up 20% of the storage size of the installed image and up to 28% of the RAM usage of the running image. We did a bit more, and we will still work to extend to make it even more efficient and more, let's say, optimized for that specific use case. But this was, the simple and obvious choice that we did and got these results. And however, as the last set of the requirements, besides the resources, besides the availability of remote management, so not having the trained staff on the location, I said there was the feature that was missing. So here I have a set of features we did identify that this is something we need. It's not in the priority order, it just was our thought. And the most important set of features that were missing was .1x, power over Ethernet, spanning tree. Yes, we don't need spanning tree, but in that locations, usually they really still want a spanning tree, so spanning tree. And then we are saying IGMP multicast, Q&Q, MAC-based VLAN, policy groups, and some others. So this is not, let's say, defined list, but the interesting point, as you can see, I've marked them as the green. So there is a separate work group was started, and it's super active now, called PANS, PoE Enterprise Networking SONiC. And for example, the features marked in green is either being already published and accepted or published as of today. So even if it's not in mainline, I believe for the next release, they will be accepted. And for example, we've been working with our friends from Marvell on the PoE functionality. The port security, I believe the gentlemen and the team from Broadcom were presenting. The STP, it's again Broadcom engineers were pushing this functionality to SONiC. So yes, there is still feature gap, but it's closing in a really, really rapid space here. And okay, so we have technology, we have software, we have the potential interest, but where to run it. And this is quite interesting part. It's not, let's say, university or research project. It's ready to be produced. It's ready to be deployed, and there is a variety of different vendors from ASIC to ODMs that supports this technology. And here you have some of them. We definitely have, I believe this is one of, I don't know, one or two of their 50 SKUs that's SONiC capable. We have some other names here, obviously EdgeCore, which is quite active there. And the number of SKUs available there is growing and growing and growing. And what to do next? First of all, my will ask for you would be, come to the PANS work group, give us your feedback, give us your impression, where we as the SONiC community is lacking, help us to improve faster and guide us a bit. Because we are the data center guys. Let's be realistic, we are teaching from you. Help us build, and this is more asked to the ASIC vendors, let's work together and extend the SAI and SONiC itself with more functionality that is tailored for this specific market. Additionally, let's realize SONiC is not data center only now. Let's not treat it as the data center only. Let's define, design. This is the data center use case. Great, working, keep it running. There is another use case which defines and needs different treatment, and there was already, I believe this week, there was already proposal done to the SONiC community. Let's define the flavors or build configs or that are differently targeting different use cases, because currently, you know, you're getting SONiC one image. I mean, it's per ASIC and per architecture, but it's one image with all functionality. You can either use it or not. So the idea is, let's define different flavors of it. Help us to extend, if needed, the northbound interface for that cloud SDK, as I was saying. Maybe something is still missing. Maybe we didn't cover all of the cases. Let's discuss. Join the relevant work groups, either OLS or PANS, and here is some more information where you can do it. And this is, I believe I have promised to talk not much, and I believe I talked too much, so I'm giving you the 10 minutes back for the questions.
You were talking in the beginning about brownfield deployments.
Yes.
So how do you tackle this challenge?
Depends on which brownfield you are. There is no correct answer here. Sorry.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, in general, you know, most of the campus deployments you have and whatever Cisco Extreme Networks, Juniper deployment.
So interop testing, it's the king here, and at least how we were in our commercial projects, how we were addressing this. We were working with the client. We got the exact understanding what their network is. This is the snapshot now. We worked them what their network should be in an end result once we've changed everything to the open source or SONiC based. And then we worked closely with each and every of their network architecture to define, okay, the first step, we are replacing this switch only. And this switch should work with Cisco, as I said, or Aruba, or HP, or any other. So we are isolating the scope of change, changing one, making sure it works, go to another one. Changing one, making sure it works, go to another one. We had no, let's say, ability, you know, to say, okay, we are shutting down the network for a week and we are replacing it. It's not what's going to happen.
I believe there is definitely a need to have an orchestration platform which is capable of handling multiple vendors.
Oh, definitely.
And we have, I mean, in the community, I mean, you can see beyond that, we have
yes.
Dorado networks. I mean, these partners are really required because you otherwise can't scale it. If you are running into a network,
for sure.
Campus deployment of 2,000 plus switches.
Completely agree with you.
How much time do you want to spend to do a one-to-one replacement?
Yes. So
it's not that simple.
that's completely true. So the orchestration of SONiC, and you are completely right. There are already matured offerings on the market beyond Avis, Dorado, Pantheon Tech. So there are offerings that are already available which you can use out of the box. I was talking about, you know, this is basically the tooling which allows you to build your own management system if you want so. And if you need multi-vendor, yes, definitely without management, it's not.
Thanks for making the point, because I believe it's interesting also to the community to understand how to handle that, you know, but there are solutions available.
Yes.
We can make it
yes.
work already today. So it's, it's not the future, it's today.
Okay. Any other questions? Then thank you, gentlemen and ladies.